Hey, what's up? I'm Darkbblue, trying to help everyone enjoy games in depth. This video will summarize the process you can follow to fully craft a new build in the Slormancer. This is not a basic build guide, but a true endgame build guide. The first thing to do is to grind for pure stats. Adjust your loot filter so that all legendary gears are kept, and for the other rarities, only those with highlighted pure stats are kept. Then you can highlight the stats you want to be pure on your character stat panel. However, I don't advise selecting keep only perfect scores. Even for a true endgame build, it'll be too expensive. My suggestion is to see a pure stat with at least 2 exclamation marks as doable. Then use the search box of Primordial Nether Realm to search for the stat you want so that the map will be highlighted. In the corresponding maps, certain stats will have higher chances to become pure and higher value rolled. The second thing to do is to grind for Nether bases. You need to know the Nether charge displayed at the top or bottom right corner. This charge is gained by completing mobbing maps, and a special mobbing map with a small flag icon will give you twice the charge. After gaining charges, you will have more Nether gear drop chances. So you want to fill the charge first before doing the bossing map. However, there's no need to focus on the map with the flag icon. Just do pure stat hunting normally. Only when your pure stats are fully ready but Nether bases aren't should you prioritize the flagged map. With Nether charge ready, now check the draw pool of each boss map. What you should pay attention to is not exactly what gears are listed, but their types, such as helmets or bracers. Suppose now the legendary effects I want can be found on helmet. I should go for a boss map with the most helmets, but don't go for the specific legendary directly, which would be extremely hard to grind. Now here's a more advanced trick. When opening the chest, only 3 gears will be shown at first. The rest 3 need to be rerolled manually. Now suppose you can judge from the loot pool that all the gears you want are already dropped at the first 3 gears, but none of them is Nether. Should you reroll them? Of course not, because even if one rerolling generates a Nether gear, it won't be of the gear type you need, but will still consume the Nether charge. In this case, simply pick a legendary and escape from this map, doing it again later. Talking about escaping from a mission, this is a way not to complete it. As long as you don't complete any mission, the loot pools will stay fixed. So if you find a map with an extremely good loot pool, this trick will be useful. With both pure stats and Nether bases ready, the next step is stat crafting. Divide your Nether bases into 2 categories. One is where you need a legendary effect of the same type. The other is where you need no legendary effect of this type. For the first type, in a true endgame build, you should reroll the legendary effect until you get what you want. In this way, all the 3 grafting chances can be used for pure stat grafting. For the second type, go get a target legendary of the other types and graft it onto the Nether base, leaving the 2 remaining grafting chances for pure stats. As for the grafting of pure stats, there's a few tricks. Specifically, not all stats can be rolled on a certain gear type. However, the stats unable to be rolled can still be grafted, and I recommend you graft a pure stat normally cannot be rolled on this gear type. For example, normally the normal stats of a chest armor are only defensive, but we don't really need so many defensive stats. So I choose to graft a crit chance pure stat on 1 normal stat slot of the chest armor. This trick can greatly improve your stat quality, giving you more effective stats, so I recommend you consider what to graft wisely. With legendary and basic stats ready, let's craft some special stats and level up the gears. Special stats include Reaper stats, Mastery stats, and Attribute stats. Reaper stats correspond to the Reaper Smith's affinity you upgrade at the Dwarf Blacksmith. You can check the Reaper Smiths of your current weapon and reroll these stats accordingly. Mastery stats correspond to skill mastery levels, and you should focus on the main damage dealer skill you use. Attribute stats give you additional attribute points. Also, you need to level up the gears. This is because Nether gears have a max level of 120, but their levels are usually lower than that when dropped. Doing the leveling up thing can increase the flat stat values on the gear. The next step is to reinforce your gears. Go to the Slormancer NPC and start the reinforcement. First, use Slormice of higher tiers than your current gear, reinforcing reinforcement with 0 potential until your gears all hit +5. Then go to farm a bit experience until your gears reach full potential. After that, return to this NPC and reinforce them to +15. Now don't use Slormites of the recommended tiers, as it'll cost huge amount of golds. Instead, use a low tier Slormite and utilize Slormancer for the reinforcement. Specifically, insert 30 green Slormancer to ensure this gear remains at full potential after the reinforcement. Next, insert 20 purple Slormancer to ensure this gear can be reinforced for 2 tiers. Finally, insert blue Slormancer 10 by 10 until the failure chance is reduced to 0. So far, we have finished the crafting for gears. We still have a little bit to do that's non-gear related. Choose your skills and determine their passives, including your mastery and support skill. Determine how you want to invest your ancestral legacy. Spend your attribute points, choose an ultimatum, choose a weapon, and choose 3 runes. Now we have a new build fully crafted. Combine this with the last video, which shows you how to theory craft a build. You can be ready to play with different builds in the Slormancer. Hope you have fun. If you want to play games into depth together with me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you around.